Currently, I've been living in my van up here in Summit County, Colorado, and this is where everyone kind of comes around this area to snowboard in Colorado. This is where the best snowboarding in Colorado is. There's a ton of ski resorts up here that are, for people with my type of budget, way overpriced. It's kind of like the hot spot for all the rich people in the country to come snowboard here, so you kind of can't afford to snowboard as a minimum wage working local. But here in this shot, I'm at a spot called Loveland Pass right off that road there, hiking up with Roxy. And this hike today was really perfect for her and I because, as you can see, all these dry spots. Roxy can do really good in the snow for about 5 minutes, and then she needs to kind of let her paws thaw off and dry out. And that allowed her to go pretty high today. She just had to turn around because she got hungry. This is after I took her back and got her bundled up. Got back out on my snowshoes, hiked up the other side of the road up to a little bit more trafficked snowboarding and skiing spot. I'm new to the area, so I didn't really want to go out on that peak that was untouched and had more potential for an avalanche. Speaking of avalanche, out in that direction right there, I was listening as I came down from that peak that I'm pointing at now, and I had heard them doing some blasting on the other side of the mountain, and I saw a sign where I parked that warned me about that, but I didn't think I'd actually hear dynamite blowing up in the mountains. Pretty scary sound for the first time when you can't see a single human within miles of you. But luckily it was on the opposite side of the mountain, still pretty damn loud and echoed over. If I've learned one thing about this planet after 2 years of living in a van, it is that this planet has so much beauty to offer our eyes and so many potential recreational activities which enable us humans to escape the chaotic and stress-filled aspects in our lives in a healthy but also ethical way. In modern first world countries, despite the abundance of opportunity to find things to appreciate in life, majority of humans choose consumption as their main and sometimes only regular pleasure in life. While this obsession with consumption-derived pleasure can be a totally healthy and ethical form of pleasure when a human possesses a conscious desire for long-term health over short-term pleasure, but more importantly, a moral compass which puts sentient lives over a one-time source of short-term taste pleasure. There are so many ways for us to enjoy pleasure on this planet in ethical and healthy ways. Some that I'd like to list that I find is to find pleasure in sport, natural or unnatural beauty, pursuit of skill mastery, laughter, and love. With all this abundance of opportunity to find things to appreciate in our lives, despite how chaotic and stress-filled they can be, I do not see why anybody sees the need to stab animals to live a life filled with pleasures. Everybody listening to this that understands the English language well knows that it is wrong to kill or harm a dog unnecessarily, despite the utility and pleasure that it could offer us by inflicting this unnecessary suffering on a dog. The fact that we are also simultaneously inflicting unnecessary suffering on trillions of animals each year because we choose to selfishly keep indulging in the flesh of their bodies and the milk from their tits and the eggs from their cloacas, when most of these animals are as smart or smarter than the average dog. Anybody who thinks about it rationally can recognize the fact that being anything other than vegan is supporting animal cruelty in an unnecessary form. I guarantee if anybody is listening still to me speak, they are in principle against animal abuse, while simultaneously funding the worst animal abusers to ever walk this planet. If you are not vegan, please ask yourself, why do you feel the need to keep paying people to harm animals that are smarter than a 4-year-old child, smarter than a dog, and yet you condemn them to slaughter?